King Kong in the trunk.
I'm back. Rhodes Rants on Star Wars. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and join the Rhodes Squadron. Rian Johnson is commenting on The Last Jedi again. Rian Johnson. And it's kind of interesting what he has to say. Rian Johnson has come out and made some statements. And let's find out what he said. This is from Dark Horizon. He comes out and he says, as part of a special feature for the home video release of the most recent film Knives Out, and discovered by the guys at Screen Rant, Johnson revealed that he wished he could have had some test screenings to help him craft The Last Jedi, as they went so well with Knives Out. Quote, Knives Out was like a party in the theater. It was fun. It was like the first time I was like, oh, wow, this actually plays. This is good. Which is really nice, and that's something on Star Wars. You can't test movies for a lot of different reasons. I've always hated test screenings. And when we were making Star Wars, at a certain point in the process, you're like, God, I would give my left arm to put this in front of 300 people in Burbank and just see how it plays. Lucasfilm is famously concerned about spoilers, that they don't show Star Wars film early. Even key cast and crew don't see the whole thing until right near the end. And the article does say, would it make a difference? So that's why we're all gathered here. Would it have made a difference? And you're probably thinking, Rhodes, what's up with the continuous Luke dying theme in the corner of the screen? Well, because, look, when Luke faded away needlessly from a Stone Cold Stunner double middle finger to all Star Wars fandom, because he OD'd on the Force, that was the big backbreaker for Star Wars. Look, it is Luke dying and fading away as a driving force for you have no idea, YouTube, how many content creators started their channel because of the motivation of what has happened to Luke Skywalker. And now we find out that Rian Johnson wanted to have test screenings. The question he asked, or that Garth Franklin asked on Dark Horizons, was, would it have mattered? My answer is no. Even if they would have put the film in front of a lot of people, and I can tell you right now, I remember the reaction coming off of Twitter. There were Twitter tweets coming out from people walking out of the theater saying, Rian Johnson has ruined Star Wars. Rian Johnson has killed Star Wars. Rian Johnson has pissed on Star Wars. And all the other creative flows you can have coming out of your pie hole, right? Would they have changed? I doubt it. I don't think so. And I'll tell you why. Even if Rian Johnson said, ooh, maybe I don't want to kill Luke here, I don't believe that Carrie Hart and Kathleen Kennedy would have let him change course. You see, Lucasfilm has a vendetta against Mr. Skywalker. Still do. Star Wars Theory put out a video last night about the fact that in the new Rise of Skywalker novelization, Princess Leia, or General Leia, is proven in the Force to be stronger than Luke Skywalker. Again, vendetta against Luke Skywalker. Look, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Lucasfilm didn't understand, and they still don't understand, Luke Skywalker is your Batman or / Superman of your franchise. I would say some 50 to 60% of the entire fandom, their fandom is built around that one character. It's built around that. You have ancillary pieces of their fandom, obviously, but the disrespect of Luke is what has caused all of this controversy. The elevation of female characters, what destroying characters like Luke, is what's caused this entire massive fracture in the Star Wars fandom. You killed Luke because he OD'd on the Force. You wish you would have had a test screening. It would have been interesting if they had if he supposedly had full creative control over that film, which we pretty much know he wrote. Look, the stories have come out. He wrote that film in an office with Carrie Hart and that story group in the room while he was writing, so he could get up and walk over to him and be like, is this going to line up with canon, blah, blah, blah. Would Lucasfilm have let Rian Johnson, let's say, oh no, 300 people just saw the film, 150 of them are livid that Luke Skywalker just faded away because he OD'd on the Force. Or let's say drinking titty milk didn't go over, or trying to kill your nephew didn't go over, or Luke being a member, Grumpy from the Seven Dwarves didn't go over. Is any of this shit ringing a bell? Rey putting Luke on his ass in a confrontation? Once again, we want to diminish the power of Luke Skywalker. You say 150 out of 300 test screening fans saw that and lost their ever-loving shit. Would Lucasfilm have actually done anything about it? I'm here to tell you, hell no. Because if they're literally putting out a novel in mid-May 2020, where Luke Skywalker once again is taking a back seat to somebody, this time General Leia, and yes, we all love Leia, but why the fuck do we have to continue to diminish Luke? And Luke is not my favorite character, okay? It's Han. In fact, you got to go down the list before you finally get to Luke on my Star Wars fandom. But I'm not a fucking idiot either. I realize half the fan base, this is their dude. This is their Star Wars character, the definitive Star Wars character. Test screenings. Rumor has it they had test screenings for The Rise of Skywalker. And that's how we ended up with 4,000 cuts out there that never... And it's obvious that JJ shot a bunch of extra scenes because behind the scenes and some shit is leaking out about what he shot. There's a JJ cut. It probably blows, but there's a JJ cut. You tell me what you think, Rhodes Squadron. Would a test screening of The Rise of Skywalker made any difference? Would it have made a difference if Rian Johnson did a test screening, wanted to change things, and Lucasfilm wouldn't have let him? Would you look at Rian Johnson differently? I will tell you I would not, because he wrote it. I still have a hard time believing a true Star Wars fan sets down and writes that movie the way it was. Do you know any Star Wars fan that would have wrote that movie the way it was? The key points, especially with Luke. Can you see any Star Wars fan writing that? I pictured Luke in a black cloak, walking in, somewhat similar to the way he was in the ending battle when he showed up, except he wasn't really there. And then you killed him. Then he faded away. And you couldn't have him put Rey on her prissy little ass? Oh, no. Star Wars fans, Rhodes Squadron, tell me what's up. Am I wrong? Would Lucasfilm have went into a code red and changed The Last Jedi because the fandom would have lost their shit in a test screening? And look, you can't tell me there wouldn't have been some Star Wars fans to lose their shit, because there was people that lost their shit in the theater I was in. When Luke faded away, there was literally a guy sitting in front of me that went. He threw his hands up in the air as high as they would go, like, and shook his head just like this. What? Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
King Kong in the trunk.